What happens when foreign governments can gain private access to the president while ordinary Americans are left in the dark? In a tense Senate hearing, Senator Murphy exposed how Trump's business interests and secret VIP dinners could be influencing U.S. foreign policy, and the consequences could affect national security, taxpayer dollars, and the lives of people both at home and abroad.
Just to clarify, when the president's businesses are engaged in negotiations, for instance, with the UAE on their stablecoin business. There was this big investment announced recently. You are not part of those negotiations. Those are being done by the president's family or those representing the president's business.
Yeah, I'm not aware the president's involved in managing any business. He's, other than the presidency of the United States, his family is allowed to make business deals. They continue to operate the enterprises that his family ran. I also don't accept the notion that these deals, that, for example, in Saudi Arabia or the UAE or Qatar, had anything to do with the president. For example, the Qatar bought $200 billion worth of airplanes from Boeing. The president's not as far as I know, not a shareholder, certainly doesn't own Boeing. So the overwhelming, if you look at the deals that were structured, they were involved in investments in the United States. That's the deals he signed, and or investments in, for example, the UAE or Saudi Arabia involving artificial intelligence.
UAE did announce a massive investment in World Liberty Financial, and World Liberty Financial is controlled by the president. And the president does actively engage in these businesses. He uses his social media to market the businesses that are being run by his family. I mean, just go on to his social media feed and you will see him marketing his meme coins. So that is the president of the United States. That is not his son's doing.
But that, just to be clear, that was not part of this. That was not an announcement as part of this trade visit that was conducted into the Middle East.
Well, whether or not it was made during the time the president was there are obviously business deals being done between Trump entities and these countries. Let me ask you about the one that is probably most confusing to this committee, which is the planned gift of a plane to either the United States government or the president. Is it your understanding that this luxury plane that Qatar has offered the president, and the president has announced he is willing to accept, is a gift to the United States government, or is it a gift ultimately to the president himself that he can use in his library?
Well, you'd have to talk to the Department of Defense, because this is a replacement, or at least a temporary bridge plane for Air Force One, the new Air Force One, which is way off its delivery schedule. And so that would have to be with the Air Force. They operate Air Force One. My understanding of it basically has been from the very beginning that this is a plane that was identified after talking to Boeing about what other planes around the world would fit the bill that are out there that could be used now. They identified the ones the Qataris had as an opportunity for one, and as a result, or the UAE had that as opportunity for one. And that's how that deal was.
And it's not your understanding that the plane ultimately will belong to the president or to the president's library after?
Well, I'm not involved at that level of it. I've never heard that before. What I've heard is that plane will replace Air Force One, which is an Air Force plane.
Let me ask you about the dinner that's happening this Thursday night. The president has offered access to him to the 200 top purchasers of his meme coin. Reports are that maybe about half or more of those individuals who will be meeting with him, many in a VIP reception, are foreigners. Do you have a list of those foreign individuals who will be meeting with the president?
I don't. I don't know anything about it. I didn't even know there was a dinner on Thursday night, so I'm not sure what you're referring to.
So you don't know whether any of the foreign individuals who are going to be meeting with the president this Thursday night, for instance, are on our list of sanctioned individuals, or whether any of those individuals have connections to, let's say, terrorist organizations abroad?
Well, I think if they had terrorist links, the Department of Homeland Security probably would not have allowed them into the country. But again, I don't even know there is a dinner on Thursday. You're asking me about something I don't know about.
Well, but listen, this is a dinner that the president is having. It is likely going to involve some very significant foreign interests. You have to be pretty wealthy in order to be able to get inside this dinner. Isn't that a relevant question for the Secretary of State?
Yeah, I'm not the social
Which foreign interests are going to be speaking to the president? I mean, it's kind of naive to believe that they aren't going to be in that room talking about national security matters.
Well, I don't think that that's the case at all, because I would be aware if it was the case. The truth of the matter is I interact with government officials and others in governments of other countries. That's what I don't say. You're asking me about a dinner I don't know anything about. I can't answer you because I don't know anything about this dinner. It's the first I heard of it. Like I said, I don't keep the president's social schedule. It's not on my phone. It's not in my pocket. I don't even know. I can't comment on a dinner I know nothing about.
Yeah, I think that represents a real problem for this committee, because there's clearly a way around the State Department for foreign individuals of significant influence and wealth to be able to directly lobby the president of the United States.
But I don't think
your
that's
answer
fair.
is that you don't know this is happening.
Well, I don't know that there's a dinner.
In and of itself is
I don't know that there's a dinner, and I don't know what the guest list is, but I can tell you I've run into the president of FIFA from the World Cup. He's here all the time. I see him. He's a private individual. It's not a government entity, and he's met with the president and is friendly with the president. He doesn't have to go through me to meet with the president. The president has relationships and friends and people he's known for a long time. Some of them are foreigners. That's not unusual.
Yeah,
but you're asking me about a specific dinner and implying nefarious impact. I can't comment on a
meeting with the president. I think you should probably endeavor to get your hands on the list to make sure that there aren't individuals there who are perhaps contravening national security interests that the
I don't have any concern about that. Ultimately, I don't have any concern that the president having dinner with someone is going to contravene the national security of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What happens when the line between public office and private business blurs so completely that national security, foreign aid, and diplomatic integrity are all at risk? That question was at the heart of a recent Senate hearing where Senator Murphy grilled Secretary Marco Rubio over some of the most concerning developments in U.S. foreign policy and governance today. Murphy began with a stark warning about foreign aid. Many Americans have heard the claim that only 12% of U.S. foreign aid actually reaches the people it's intended to help. Rubio tried to clarify that most aid passes through large organizations that then distribute it to local communities, meaning that in reality, roughly 80 to 85% of aid reaches the ground. But the bigger picture remains troubling. The U.S. aid system is complicated, opaque, and vulnerable to mismanagement. Murphy pointed out that shutting down U.S. aid programs not only undermines effective policy, but could be illegal, and it certainly erodes trust in America's global leadership. Every dollar that fails to reach a child, a farmer, or a struggling community abroad represents a lost opportunity to save lives and strengthen alliances. The discussion then shifted to the president's personal business interests and how they intersect with foreign governments. Traditionally, U.S. presidents have avoided engaging in foreign deals through private enterprises precisely to prevent conflicts of interest. Decisions affecting the country's security and diplomacy should be guided by national interests, not personal profit. During Trump's first term, the policy was largely followed, but reports suggest the current administration has changed course, allowing foreign governments to invest in Trump-affiliated ventures. This raises serious questions. Are diplomatic decisions influenced by the need to favor a private business or by what's best for the United States? Murphy pressed Rubio on investments from the UAE into Trump-controlled enterprises and the situation with a luxury plane offered by Qatar. These are not minor details. They are tangible examples of how private financial interests can intersect with and potentially complicate national policy. Perhaps the most striking example was the so-called meme coin dinner. Attendees reportedly include wealthy foreign nationals with significant influence. While it may seem like a social or marketing event on the surface, it has serious implications. These private interactions allow foreign actors to engage with the president directly, bypassing traditional government channels designed to maintain oversight, accountability, and national security safeguards. The risk is clear. If foreign interests gain special access to the president outside the established diplomatic process, it opens a door for influence that could affect policy decisions, from trade agreements to defense considerations, all without transparency or scrutiny. Rubio repeatedly stated he had no knowledge of these private interactions and emphasized that the president's family operates the businesses independently. Yet the hearing exposed a critical vulnerability. There exists a parallel system where private influence can flow unchecked, potentially shaping U.S. policy in ways that ordinary citizens, lawmakers, and even diplomats may not be aware of. This is not theoretical. It's a tangible risk that affects the integrity of government decisions and ultimately the safety and well-being of Americans. What this hearing reveals is far more than a political disagreement or partisan attack. It exposes a fundamental tension in governance. How do we ensure that leaders prioritize public interest over private gain, especially when foreign governments and wealthy individuals can gain direct access to those in power? The human impact is real. Mismanaged foreign aid means children go without schools, communities go without resources, and lives are at risk abroad. Conflicted leadership in dealings with foreign nations jeopardizes national security and undermines trust in the U.S. government. The stakes are not abstract. They affect ordinary people both at home and around the world. This is a wake-up call for accountability, transparency, and ethical governance. The American people deserve to know that the channels of power are not being used for private enrichment or to favor foreign interests. We must ask hard questions about oversight, conflicts of interest, and how our leaders balance personal business with public duty. Murphy's questioning is a reminder that vigilance matters because the consequences of neglecting it are profound and lasting. What do you think? Are these hearings uncovering serious vulnerabilities in how foreign policy and private business are entangled? Or is this just partisan concern blown out of proportion? Share your thoughts in the comments. And make sure to subscribe to Liberal Lens for in-depth analysis and clear explanations about how the decisions made in Washington impact all of us.